want you to know that I see you. Out there in the metaphorical desert of your mind. Crawling. Looking for a dribble. A drop. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little blip blop. Something to sustain your metaphorical mind-body palace. Daniel is taunting the people that are craving that sustenance. But not I. Let it be known that I am willing to adorn myself.
Sorry. I'm good.
That's enough, Daniel. Let it be known that I'm willing to adorn myself in an Adidas jogging outfit. And I'm willing to jog into that desert to work up a sweat so that that sweat may be dribbled into your waiting mouth so that you may have your thirst quenched. Welcome to SoundMind. I'm Justin Haas. Stevie D is over there.
We have a guest today, Daniel Taylor. Welcome for the second time.
Thank
He's
you.
our second.
Yeah,
I
he's
found
our
that
first
today.
second.
That's right.
I thought I was the first second. I'm the first second.
Yeah.
No,
you
you're
are
the first
second.
Yeah, you're the first person to
Yeah.
be the second guest.
Also, I genuinely coughed up a piece of like the top of an everything bagel when I did that, and I was trying to find it as you were talking, and it was
Wow.
on my lip. It was in my mustache.
What's an everything bagel?
You know, like the bagels where they have got everything,
Oh, man.
just like a bunch of different
They
stuff.
put
on it.
onions on them?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
know. I haven't
coughing
read
up
the.
onions, like
It wasn't good,
chives. And
yeah.
I'm just, yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
So we are going to, first of all, thank you, Justin, for your contribution to mankind.
Yeah.
You know, not letting them die out there in the desert. We applaud you.
And
Thanks,
I love you very much. And
Oh,
I've told you I hate these intros, but that's what makes them beautiful.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't
It's
you want my
true.
sweat in your mouth?
Did you say that part? Did I just zone out that part?
I think so.
I don't know
'Cause
if
I think-
zone is the right word. Maybe like repressed.
Yeah, because I said while I drip my sweat into your waiting mouth.
Yeah, that's how he solves the whole problem.
Yeah.
I think that's assault.
No, because if you're thirsty and you're willing to do whatever it takes,
That sweat is not going to quench anyone's
It is
thirst.
a salty
It's going to make everywhere. It's just like drinking
taste
salt water.
of liquid.
but my sweat is pure and not salty.
It's because of his diet that he's on, which is
Whole
like
30.
mint leaves, basil, and what's that oil you use?
Olive oil.
That's my update from the last podcast. I did Whole30.
Yes. He too has pure
I lost
sweat.
15 pounds.
I did steal that little detail from Daniel
Did
because
you?
I'm not
No.
actually on Whole 30.
I did Whole30.
That's awesome. You look
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you.
I would drink
lost
your sweat
15, 20
before I
pounds. That's
drank
great.
Justin.
Thank you.
That is
Appreciate that.
absolutely fair.
Yeah.
We've seen what Justin.
I also have more body hair, so that's part of it.
That is a problem.
I feel like I would assume that you eat like those really cheap pizzas, but you don't.
I don't. I eat Pop Murphy's, gosh dang it.
There you go.
You know the thing about body hair, though, at least like I think it'll formulate like a little cone and then cause the trickle down.
Oh, you know
to
I've done
be
that.
A more like more.
It's more
I
natural.
think one of the biggest things I feel like I've lost out on life is knowing Justin as a bachelor. I feel like that would have been a really unique experience.
It was scary.
I believe
Yeah,
it, 100%.
Thank God, Allie saved everyone from
Yeah,
that
she did.
house because I wouldn't know if he was hitting on me and he was serious.
Or if
Probably
he was
both.
jokingly hitting on you.
To see if you were serious.
Right. So I thank God Christina saved him from that. Too.
There you go.
I might have said.
So now you
yes.
guys can just sit and wondering what vibes I'm throwing out on you guys.
Oh, jeez. So all jokes aside, we have
All
a
All things
serious
considered.
thing
And
to
yeah.
discuss.
Yes.
We need to come up with names for segments, but we don't have one yet. But we are going to talk about.
Oh, I
this-
thought we called it the news.
the
But
news.
yeah, no, you guys got to change up. As the new intern,
Yeah.
the news is too boring.
What about D news?
No,
News with the big D.
you can't use the word.
See, now
D
we're going back to the coffee thing.
when we talk about sweat right before. Okay, just doesn't work. It's not good. Anyway, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth,
Yeah.
as your sweat would.
70% of this podcast is just going to be me adjusting my mustache.
Let's get the
Because
other
it keeps
part
getting coffee in
will
it.
be us talking about what we're going to talk about,
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
which we've done that before.
As well.
So we're going to start this with a segment of the news.
Are we recording?
Yes, we are so recording. There's no.
We've
going
been
back
recording
now.
for about 10 minutes now.
This is an unedited, unfiltered. Live.
Even though we just talked about editing that first part and making the intro.
That would be really fun to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm just
Bring
us into this story. What do you got?
So
D News.
D News.
Welcome to D News with Daniel Taylor.
Hey.
What we know is that there is a man, and this man is Post Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Post Malone did a song.
Word.
He did
Dropped a whole new album.
Yeah, a whole album came out.
Fan- Fantastic.
No way. When was this?
Wait, is this
a
his
week or
first
two
album?
ago. No, this is his third album.
Is this his third album?
He's
I'm
got a
sleeping.
mixtape and
Dude.
3 albums.
I'm sleeping.
It's a really good album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
what I
I
heard.
feel like it fully encapsulated his first album being very not mainstream, and then his second album being very mainstream, and then he found a great middle ground.
Wow,
They're all great
awesome.
albums.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you should probably talk about it because you know more than I do, apparently.
Yeah. So Ozzy Osbourne was on one of the songs.
Who's that?
Who is it?
Yes. Who is Ozzy Osbourne?
Is that what the song is called?
Yeah. Mhm.
That's cool.
Everybody on Twitter is, well, the younger generation on Twitter was freaking out and was so excited that Post Malone had given Ozzy Osbourne his big break.
Yeah.
And found some random guy, kind of like Macklemore with that one guy that sang the down. Like not really
Oh, yeah.
anyone knew who he was, or maybe everyone did.
I don't
From
know.
what I understood, people were saying that about this guy. Was like
Yeah.
Macklemore made this guy famous.
Yeah.
And
it's really kind of him.
Yeah, and so Post Malone put Ozzy Osbourne on the map, according to Generation X, Z, Y.
YZX. So if you think
XYZ.
about it, Ozzy Osbourne should be really thankful.
I would imagine he is.
Well, actually, that's funny because he is very thankful. He did not know who Post Malone was when Post Malone asked him to be on a song, and Ozzy Osbourne came out later and has said that he's working on his greatest album ever with Post Malone's producer, and that he was basically just like in this like lull and in this like bad like a rut, and now he's making the best album ever with Post Malone's producer.
That's awesome.
So the joke comes full circle. Ozzy Osbourne is very thankful for Post Malone.
Full disclosure,
Post Malone saved music.
Ozzy hasn't done a great album in a hot minute.
Ozzy, if you're listening to this, I'm not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
We love you.
Well, I mean, I do, but at
Right.
the same time, I have to acknowledge
I've never listened to Ozzy Osbourne.
subpar. There's been some subpar albums, and now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think he's done a really great album since like the '90s. That's a long flipping time to not do a great album. Anyways,
I
Opinions
haven't done a
probably
great album.
vary, but
In his defense, none of us have done a great album since the 90s.
yeah, that's true. Or
is
ever.
that actually true? Yeah.
Yet.
I mean, to be fair, when the '90s ended, I was 7.
Right.
But
6.
He says they're not good albums because they gave him nightmares constantly.
well, the ones after that gave me nightmares because of how bad they were.
Right.
But I listened to Ozzy a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Didn't you recently have a nightmare? Did you tell me that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What happened was I was swimming in the water, and all of a sudden there was a shark there, and it ate me.
You heard the dream. Did you hear the
then-
dream?
No,
I
I
was-
don't remember this.
Oh.
I was inside
yes.
the stomach of the shark, and I met a man. You were there.
Oh.
And
Was
we
I the
talked.
man?
No, we together talked to a homeless man
Yeah.
who was named Steve, and
That's
Steve
confusing.
Ironic.
was trying to start a YouTube channel,
Okay.
and he was asking for tips, and so we showed him like, hey, this is how you actually create an account on YouTube. I didn't even know that.
Wow.
And once we got his YouTube account set up, and all that, and we helped him film his first video.
Inside
It ended
the belly
okay.
of the shark.
Yeah, that was all post shark.
So to answer my question, no, you were not the person that had told me they had had a nightmare recently.
No,
Okay.
I don't dream.
And why was that a nightmare?
don't
That
either.
sounds like a pretty swell dream.
I made it up.
You really botched that.
Okay. Well. Anyway, turns out that the guy we ran into, because I was there,
Yep, you were there.
is the inventor of YouTube, and he
Whoa.
was messing with us
Mark
the whole
Zuckerberg.
time.
Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO
Invented.
of Twitter.
Wow.
And also YouTube. Because
But
that's how the dream
we are
works.
thankful that he let us on like that,
Yeah. I want to be
as
led on.
Ozzy is to Post Malone.
I like being led on by powerful men.
Yeah. In case you don't know, Ozzy Osbourne was like, I mean, come on.
He's an icon.
Rock legend.
Yeah.
When people were fighting over, do you like disco or you rock? And depending on the answer to that question, we might fist fight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that this was a time where people fist fought over disco versus rock music.
It's probably not. If I was a disco fan, I'd just probably roller skate away. Or
Yeah. You'd be like, actually, I love disco.
yeah. I ain't about this.
Yeah. But yeah, he was in Black Sabbath, which is a much better band than any of the music that he did by himself. But
Right.
Black Sabbath.
I've seen Ozzy like 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
As Black Sabbath or as Ozzy Osbourne?
Ozzy
not.
Osbourne.
Yeah, probably not
yeah,
Black
yeah.
Sabbath.
No, I'm not that. Yeah, I think they were.
I don't
done
know.
Before. Yeah.
The only thing I know about Black Sabbath is that I had one of their signature guitars at one point.
Oh,
Dude,
really? That's
savage.
probably worth.
I was trying to write metal music.
Yeah.
It was like I sold it for $100.
Really?
It was worth more than that, but I lived in a small town and needed to go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
Wow.
But yes, Black Sabbath is.
Yeah. No, he
Widely-
wasn't great. He wasn't great. Well, because it was at Ozfest. I went to Ozfest a few different times at the Gorge. The
nice.
Gorge was like one of my first jobs.
You worked at the Gorge?
Yeah, I worked crowd management when I was 17. My first concert I ever went to
You were
was my
working.
first day of work.
That's
before then.
that's
Was
crazy.
Tom Petty, rest his soul. Which I wasn't a Tom Petty fan until the concert, and then really was like,
That's how I was about Third Day.
yeah, live music is
Third Day was
special.
my favorite band for years because I saw them in concert. My
Yeah.
first concert ever.
Which is
I
why
don't know how to respond to that.
super important to gig and do live shows if you're a musician and artist, because
Yeah, I've done
it's
so
the
many live shows.
experience that a lot of people bring.
I think that Third Day is the greatest CCM band of all time.
What's
Wait.
CCM?
Christian contemporary music.
I guess we could argue that.
I don't want to have that argument right now. That's like, if we're
I
gonna
stand by it.
If we're gonna edit anything, I would edit that conversation.
Wow, that's a bigger diss of Christian music than we've ever done on
Well,
this.
cool. Use it as a blip it because I
Yeah.
mean it. And I stand by that.
There we
Yeah.
go. Write that down.
Yeah.
Flip it.
I stand by that. Well, let me finish what I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
really quick.
Nah, that's fine.
There's a reason that Black Sabbath is considered the father of metal, and Ozzy does not really get to continue that mantle, and it was because Black Sabbath is a lot better than Ozzy. But
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Ozfest, to answer your question,
yep, which I asked you.
amazing bands at Ozfest, like especially in like the hard rock music.
Do you recall the year by any chance?
64, right?
Would have been, let's see, would have been early 2000s, like maybe 2000.
Was
2001.
POD there?
POD was there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, POD was there. Rob Zombie.
PD was at the top of their game.
yeah,
Was this
P-
before
and
they started
POD
cussing or after they started cussing?
They started cussing really early on.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Really?
yeah.
They started
think
cussing
so.
after I stopped listening to them.
They dropped the F bomb later on, but there's,
Oh,
there's
maybe
an
that's what it
N word
was.
on their
There's an-
first big album. Yeah,
Yeah, this
Really?
was this
It's-
was the
Yeah.
was
Are you serious?
yeah, on the same album that Southtown's on.
How did they get away with that in Christian culture?
I don't
they
know,
were
it's-
not a POD
Yeah.
has never
No,
been,
but they were very accepted
They
by the
were
Christian
accept-
community.
that is
right,
true.
right.
Uh-huh.
But they were not. Yeah, they were not vocally Christian.
I thought they were. Weren't
I
they on a
mean,
Chri-
no,
they were on a
I'm
Christian
sorry,
record
sorry,
label.
that's not. They didn't market themselves as a Christian band.
They were on a Christian
Right.
record label, weren't they?
I don't recall,
Oh, I don't know.
but yeah,
These are
they
great questions.
they dropped the N word in like there's like just a recording of some people chatting in the background. So it's not like a lyric.
But it wasn't a white person that said it.
I do not know who said it.
That could be controversial.
the N word.
Yeah,
I guarantee. Like, what is there any? Was there any black people in POD?
isn't the main guy mixed?
Oh, maybe.
maybe.
He looks white.
Yeah, I
White
actually
with
don't remember.
dreadlocks. Well, then he cut his hair, I think. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
that's to
POD
say.
was there. They were dope. I don't. We can unpack.
They
more
sang
of that.
Youth of the Nation.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Great
and
song.
yeah, Rob Zombie. I said that already. I think Marilyn Manson was there one of the times I was
Holy
there.
cow.
It was
Yeah, you got-
Static X.
You got like a heyday kind of situation.
Yeah, no.
Avril
Well, that's what
Lavigne.
Ozfest was. I mean, I don't think they do it anymore, but it was.
They
like,
do.
Is it? It's like
Do
the
they really?
most popular heavy bands.
Now they have Posty Fest.
I don't know if they still do it, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But it was till really recently.
This is why we shouldn't put our phones in airplane mode, so we could
look
ask
it up.
Siri.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Siri. Yeah, it's an airplane mode.
Yeah, can't do it.
She's our fourth person on the set.
Yeah, we should give her her own mic.
We should have, you guys should have an entire episode where you just interview Siri.
That
Ask
would
me
be
a question.
interesting.
and a
would not
little
be-
bit.
it would not be
too-
interesting.
Yeah, it'd be a little
Well,
too.
we do it at home all the time, and we seem pretty interested. She is so funny.
Oh wow! You just told a knock
Just get to know
I
Siri.
thought you were a computer.
So anyway, set the stage. Those were the
Yeah,
bands that were there, and then Ozzy would headline. You know, he would be the last. So it's like Ozfest might not have happened without Ozzy. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, after you sit through a Rob Zombie set, POD, like these guys in the middle of their heyday, and then Ozzy closes it, it's like, you know what I mean? Because you can't even understand the words he's speaking half the time. And I
Yeah.
do love you, Ozzy, but you can't. You know, ask your
Well,
wife;
he
she'll
was
tell you.
he was heavily doing drugs at the time. I don't know if he's still doing drugs.
Well, a lot of them were, but they could pronounce their words.
So what Steve is saying, as long as you pronounce your words, drugs are good.
Well,
Whoa!
specifically heroin.
Do
This
not
has been the
edit that.
SoundMind podcast.
no. That is not.
Do
what I'm
drugs.
saying.
Pronounce your words.
Wow.
Do them in
I
unison.
feel like.
But if you're gonna
somebody
do
has
one of
been
the two, pronounce
blasphemed
your words.
by
Yeah.
media. No.
The
This is
mainstream
gonna,
media.
the streams are going to skyrocket.
It's so crazy. Like that can actually happen while you're sitting next to the person. Never thought.
You never.
Oh, let me take your comment out of context right in front of you, and
There
then
you
blast
go.
it out on media.
This is the tabloid of podcasts.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna say something really important about like morality and the nature of
No, you weren't.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Should we get into our topic?
Yeah.
If you want.
I do, because there's
Sick.
nothing else that I want to say, and your important comment disappeared. Probably
Yeah, it
pop
did.
out through your beard later or something.
Yeah.
Through your mouth hole. Anyway,
You guys
so
are very bearded.
we are.
I was looking at the first.
You look like you're like.
I trimmed it recently. I accidentally trimmed it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I did.
accidentally,
When
I
that
accidentally
happens.
cut it recently. I was trying to, but I was looking at the first podcast. You did not have a beard in the first couple. You had a little beard, but
I
not.
did. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I wanted to have a beard when I grew up.
Yeah, and now you are.
I know. Justin, his manliness has grown.
Yeah, I literally
on me.
drastically reduced my beard like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and I shouldn't have.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
See, so when we have you back, and you'll be our first.
Third.
Well, who knows? You might be our third.
We're
But
about to promise something you can't keep.
yeah, exactly. I don't know how it's going to play out, but
Yeah.
we might have a man beard by then.
There you go.
We should have an initiation process.
I don't
I already
know.
had I already had the very full beard.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
It was like down to here.
Is that like a half inch longer?
No, it was like-
it was like down to there.
It was like
It was a full situation.
It was not like Justin or Stevie full beard.
I never saw your full beard.
Yeah, you did.
Did I? I didn't notice.
I'm thinking about because like
It's a gradual process.
I do this thing where I obsess over my beard. I'm thinking about just letting it go and not even caring, and it's just gonna look nasty for a while, and then I'll trim it up when it's super long, and it'll look super dope.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I just keep trimming it,
Right.
and so it stays short because I don't stop.
Right.
You have one of the best beards I've ever seen, though.
No,
so
you
maybe
have
not
a
do
great
that.
beard. I'm down for that though, because I like as a person, I'm all about
Yeah,
experimentation.
and I kind of want to just start growing everything out.
Yeah,
my
no, I
body
think
hair.
I would love
my
that.
head hair.
Like,
Stop
what?
shaving your chest hair.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's like a savage inside of Justin that just needs to express itself.
He just
through
needs the t-shirt.
Not taking care of yourself.
It's
you know?
fun-
Lack of hygiene.
So back to our topic.
Yeah. Well, one more thing before we do what we said we were gonna do, like adults. But what I was gonna say is Charlie Bufford, who we reference a lot on this podcast,
Really?
not had on,
Really?
which probably should change.
We're
But
gonna change that.
Charlie Bufford, after our Misfit Hour show, he was like, "How do you keep that inside of you?" And I was like, "I don't." That's the problem.
Yeah. Speaking of Charlie, his daughter came in here yesterday when I was here. Was it yesterday?
She's
Mercedes.
been here a couple
Yeah,
times.
Mercedes. And I walk in the door off a phone call with Trixie.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, "Oh my gosh! Like you told me your music was on Apple Music, and I have been listening. Like I spent an entire week where I listened to nothing but your music." And I was like, "What? Like holy cow!" And she said, "I heard you putting out new stuff, and I'm as excited as if a Beyonce song was dropping." And it was
Yeah.
the greatest compliment I've ever received in my life.
Yep.
Thank you, Mercedes.
We
if
should
you see
clap.
this.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mercedes.
Give it up for Mercedes.
Yes.
And Daniel.
So grateful.
for making amazing music.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce status.
For Beyonce for setting the example.
Right.
Dude, wow.
She's got a lot of bottom end in the music. Anyway.
The topic.
Yeah,
So
we're going to talk about...
Hold on a second. I want to go back. Charlie said, how do you keep that all inside of you? And you said you don't?
Yeah.
Do you believe yourself?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
I don't... So, like, the thing that everyone does is when we feel emotions, we shove them deep, deep down inside. We shove them in there, and then we cover the space there with food. Okay? So you just shove it deep down, your feelings. You just shove your feelings, and then you trap your feelings down there.
Yeah.
By just eating as much food as you can find.
You said everyone does this?
I do this.
Yeah, but you started with everyone does this.
I recently saw a kid shove a French fry into another kid's ear
Right.
So that's something someone does.
with like a finger, like pushed it in and then pushed it down in there,
All right.
and then did it to an adult right afterwards.
Yeah. I have a
Wow.
2-year-old that keeps sticking food up his nose.
This kid
And
was
it's like,
17.
you're trying to feed the kid, and it turns into like a medical
Yeah,
situation.
like you got to plug one nostril and you
Yeah.
go blow,
Yeah.
blow it out, and he's like,
Oh, no, what really works is you plug one nostril, and then you blow into their mouth.
oh,
And it's-
So most of you guys don't know this, but I've started interning for Stevie, and as part of this internship, I'm saying let's get on track.
yeah.
oh, I thought you were gonna be like,
And
it's part of this
also, as
internship.
part of his internship, he helps blow the like little stuck French fries out of my toddler's noses.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because I have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And I can only do one at a time. so-
Yeah,
This bathroom soap smells weird.
Does
I
it?
don't like the church's bathroom soap.
Look at that. It's like,
Nope.
if I can't beat
Let's
him.
get on track.
If I can't beat him, I'll join him.
join up. Yeah,
Okay, back on track.
Yeah.
Is you were talking about eating your feelings away.
yeah.
Whoa.
On the Track would be a cool podcast name,
On the track.
or like a segment where we talk about a song track.
On the track. Yeah.
Dude,
Back on track.
So and so on the track, back on the track for the second time.
All right, so you started with everyone eats everybody stuffs it
So-
deep down and covers it with food.
Yeah,
back
let
on
me
this?
let me backtrack.
Okay.
So everybody stuffs their feelings to some degree.
I'm a
I think.
useless intern. Keep going.
And
This is weird. I feel like I'm inside Daniel's
So,
head.
yeah.
Don't ever talk to yourself that way, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. Also,
I'm
yes.
bringing your thoughts into
Yeah.
alignment.
Yes.
I am the most amazing guest that has ever been on this
I
show.
am good. I am beautiful. I am awesome. I am amazing.
Right.
what is that from?
I don't know. Something. Keep going.
Yeah.
Let's get to the.
Yeah, so I think everybody, or at least every man, stuffs their emotions to some degree.
I would say everybody
Yeah.
to some degree.
And then not everyone covers it with food,
Right.
but I do.
Some
I do
people
that part.
do it with compulsive beard trimming and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like weird, like.
Fortunately,
what?
you have great metabolism,
Yeah,
and so you didn't have to do Whole 30.
But I believe it or not, the food is catching up.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
So I need to start fighting back.
I didn't even talk to you about that.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
You're gonna Whole 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once I start in Whole 30, dude, I'm gonna look hot.
Yeah.
That's right. Hotter.
Yeah,
I
man.
need to do it again.
So was that the end, or like is there more?
No,
That's the end.
that's
no-
it. Yeah, there's
yeah.
no resolution.
Yeah,
I'm still
'cause
doing it.
I think that you totally lost context with what you're saying.
Right.
Charlie said, "How do you
So at the
hold that
show.
in all the time?" Now,
Yeah.
now, Grant, how long have you known Charlie?
Since I was like 15,
I think it's how old are you now?
26.
That's 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It is
So
long
I would imagine, how well do you think he knows you?
Pretty well.
So I think it's probably safe to say that he sees something coming out that he doesn't see all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
There you go.
Thank God for
Music.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like that's the outlet.
There's the context
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Thank
It
God
is.
for
I-
music.
I
Thank
cover it
God.
with food, and it erupts as screamo.
This is on track now. Yes.
Or Pump Pop, hopefully today. Oh, so yeah, we'll talk about it later. We have
Yeah.
plans tonight.
Plans. Okay.
Right? Are we doing band practice tonight?
I forgot about that,
Whoa.
but hopefully,
I
Okay.
need
Just
to
nice
work-
are starting a band.
yeah,
A whole nother band?
yeah. Remember how we talked about the name?
No.
I don't know.
Should we? No, let's not drop it.
No, because we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
You probably haven't talked to me about the name then.
Yeah.
We got your advice.
Really?
You don't remember this?
Should we get the advice on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do it. So
Okay.
we were debating a few different band names,
Uh-huh.
and I suggested Thin Kid
Okay.
as the name of
Oh,
the band.
no, I'm
I keep
remembering.
accidentally call it Thin Guy.
Yeah,
And every time I
Daniel
say
calls
it,
it Thin Guy.
I go,
And
I
that's
go,
dumb.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And then you go Thin Kid, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can
that's
handle
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's better. So anyway,
Yeah.
let's know what you think. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
you're still on that Thin Kid. So he's warmed up to it.
I have definitely warmed up to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
We'll
it a
see.
lot.
Yeah.
I like it a
But
lot.
we're doing like a
Thin
punk-
Kid, no plural.
Yeah.
Not thin guy. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be like a
Like, oh,
movie.
look at that thin guy over there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, it started because I wanted to do a punk pop side project. Because originally I was thinking moving punk pop away from my normal stuff,
Which I
and
was,
then
like,
and you said no.
commenting. Yeah.
You said no, and then I decided to just have that another outlet because there are songs where I'm like, this I can make it work, but it's not going to sound as good. Not
Right.
actually punk pop.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with that. See how it works.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys have you have other musicians in the band? Do you have a drummer?
We have a
maybe.
drummer.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe.
Yeah. He wants
Oh,
to
Josh, right?
feel us out a little bit,
Okay.
but
And then
he's
we've
down.
got another Josh playing bass.
Awesome.
Josh Forward.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, dude. We're trying to go very punk forward on that one.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And Josh is punk forward.
That's
Yeah.
great. And I didn't even know he played.
His name actually, he was named Punk when he was born.
Yeah.
So his last name was Forward. And Punk Forward.
His
I
middle
like-
name was actually Thin Guy. That's how we got the name.
Is punk
Yeah.
forward? Is that like a thing? Have you heard anybody say punk forward? Because that's a really cool.
I heard Daniel say it. No, wait, I heard myself say it.
You said it, yeah.
Just now.
I like that. Well, that needs to be something. Punk
Yeah.
forward is just that seems cool.
Yeah,
It's like
That can be
it's
his-
like
that can
I'm,
be
I'm a
his
direct
bassist name.
punk. You know, like I'm not
Yeah.
like you're not gonna find out
Yeah.
later somehow through an accident when the punk slips out. Like punk forward is like
Well, and that could be Josh's name in the band because
Yeah, Punk
I feel
Forward.
like a lot of times bassists are the ones who have the nicknames.
Yeah.
Flea.
Yeah, he's Punk.
punk
somebody
forward.
else.
Oh, and that's great. Play on words. It's his last name.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like it. So punk.
So punk forward. So yeah, we have a topic. I think
I
that we
thought
might
we did.
talk about briefly.
What was it again?
It's basically this
Oh yeah.
idea of what it takes to be successful.
What does it
with
take?
your music, with your as an artist, which honestly, I mean, how do you measure success? But
Yeah, we're keeping success. We'll talk local success. We'll start with that.
yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily say.
Mainstream success.
Yeah. It depends what you mean by success. Largely, because you could be a great songwriter and no one will ever hear your songs.
You're right. I didn't really open that up well. So can anybody fix it? Do you
Well, I
guys
think
rep-
that we're saying success as fulfilling dreams somehow.
So to clarify,
or what it takes. What does it take to get ready
Right.
for a recording session or a set?
To set
To
yourself
just-
up for the 1 in a million that makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
There
how do
go.
you be
That's a
a
blip
good
right there.
performer? How do you
get a blip it.
captivate a listener / entrance them into going back with you to America?
No bagels that
How do you make sure that they have their shots in their passport?
Right. Great.
You ask them.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I want to
You
present.
guys probably didn't get that reference.
I didn't
That's
at
fine.
all.
I did
was-
not at all. I was dying.
Oh, and he distracted me with his dying.
I don't know what's
and
So
happening.
while Daniel recovers, I'll explain the reference.
And if I recover.
I think it's
You
that-
guys might know it, but there's a clip of what's his name? Creepy guy, R. Kelly. There we go. Not a bunch of people. R. Kelly in I think Ethiopia, and he's singing to the audience. Do you have your passport? Do you have your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? And he's basically, throughout these verses, he's singing, hey, if you've got it all figured out, you can come with me tonight. Like, let's go.
Does he mean it though?
Yes.
He probably does. It's
He's
R.
a
Kelly.
complete creeper. But anyway, yeah, it's a great clip. Look it up on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Got it all in
Kelly.
high quality
That's a
video.
whole nother topic.
Yeah. And R.
Yeah.
Kelly's
We've
kinda-
talked about R. Kelly a lot,
Yeah.
actually.
Times, yeah.
Have you guys seen the Aziz Ansari? His new stand-up act. He talks about how he had a bunch of bits about Aziz Ansari. Or sorry, he had Aziz Ansari's newest stand-up act. He talks about the stuff like because he had sexual misconduct allegations. He talks about that, and then he talks about all this stuff that he had said in the past that he was like, I should not have said that. And he was like talking about R. Kelly because he ended both of his stand-up bits before with illustrious bits about going to R. Kelly concerts and how he said R. Kelly was the greatest musician of all time.
Oh, no.
And he was like, I screwed up, guys. I'm sorry.
oh, no. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I want to watch
fantastic.
it. Yeah, I've
I
heard
showed
it's
you a
great.
clip of it. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Side note, I want to plug Spokane Comedy Club. We got to go to the open mic night.
Oh, how was that?
It's definitely, an R-rated situation,
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good. We went twice now, and first time was hilarious. And it's really funny because some people just bomb, and it's painful, but that's funny too.
Yeah.
Like I get entertained by that.
Yeah.
Everybody gets 3 minutes, and it's an hour and a half, 3-minute sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like
My friends did that one time.
Yeah.
I would just cry.
I want to go. I almost went one time, and then, I
We should
didn't
go.
Let's go.
Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work
Well,
Wednesdays
sorry guys, that's my
evenings now.
Bible study. I'm joking.
Wow. Do it on a different day.
But see, now I'm working.
You're working
'cause-
Wednesday nights?
Yeah,
Do you
because
work
our
Monday
schedule-
nights?
Yep.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights now.
All right,
I was
yeah.
working not Wednesday nights.
Okay. We need to figure out about our collaboration times.
Yep.
Yeah, we do. But anyway, back on topic, which we're really good at doing.
Right.
Because we love it.
This isn't
We're
going to last for
amazing.
more than 5 seconds.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're on topic right now, and we're talking about it. And what we're talking about is what it takes
Okay, did you hear the other day
to
that
be a good performer. And
Yes.
you work
Be a
as
good
a
musician,
person
yeah.
Yeah.
in a place where musicians are,
Yes.
and they are like, "Hey, do you have a microphone that's recording right now while I play this instrument?"
Right, because I'm ready to go.
And then you go, "Hold on, I just need to press record."
yeah.
And-
No. A lot more involved. A lot more. And
Stevie
the
just, like,
reason why I
lost
had to
his
correct
job right
you
there.
is because, and I wasn't afraid of losing my job, but people think that, the sound guy or sound engineer
Right.
or producer
Mm-hmm.
pushes some magic button and the musician comes in and a song pops out. You know?
Right. I
Well,
thought that
and-
was the joke.
Yeah, anyone can
it was.
anyone can record with a laptop, but not
Yeah.
but you can't make it sound as good as
Yeah.
I learned and you taught me. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Daniel's
why.
our intern. I say our, but it's really Stevie's. I'm just
well,
kidding.
also, but since then, the last podcast, what you had told me about you basically were like, in a nutshell, Stevie said, "I really like your music. Your mix sucks. I'll give you the friends and family discount." And I said, "Okay."
Yeah. I stand by
You
that.
said that, I think, actually right before the podcast. So last time I
that-
was here, we didn't have any good mixes yet. Well, I had one on the way, but
Oh,
that
so
was a
that's
whole
rough.
disaster.
No wonder you're so nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Dude, like your music. Your mix sucks. Hey, let's turn the camera on.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember we listened to some of his stuff.
That day.
Oh, and me and Justin had listened to some
And that's
before
where
that.
you got that context. Yeah.
Yeah, we listened to a few tracks.
Yeah, but that is, and because the creativeness of it was like, this is something cool and special.
Yeah.
Needs help when it comes to that part.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Mercedes for even listening to the bad mixes.
Right. See, that goes to show.
Dude, that could be a great, like, a mixtape name. Listen to these bad mixes.
bad mixes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
anyway,
that actually could work. Here we go again. We
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it more than 45 seconds though.
yeah, it was
to
good.
our credit.
Yeah.
But
I was
so they
partially
come
part
into
of
the
that, too.
studio.
They come into the studio.
Come in the studio, and you're all ready because you
There
know
you
what it
go.
takes.
There you go.
And you're sitting there. You got everything's queued up. We're waiting on the musician. Press record. They suck. They're not ready.
Right.
They should not have made this appointment.
Right.
That does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to those people?
Yeah, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready. I mean, that's that simple. You're not ready.
Right.
And so that's kind of like the topic we wanted to open up is, what does it mean to be ready? What does it take? But also like this contrast between people who actually are and people that think they're ready because, they started writing a verse and they got stoked on it, which all of us kept writing music because that happened to us at one point in time.
Right.
And we played a lick. We were like, oh my God, this is awesome, and that's the fire that keeps us going. But it has to keep you going.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're ready.
So you're saying ideally you come into the studio fully prepared.
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah.
Knowing what
See,
it
that's
will take.
see that's something that I've experienced with you. Started doing internship with you. Is watching that because when I record, I just do it at my house, and everything that we experience here, I just do by myself.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's just my time, and so no one's
Yeah.
getting bothered.
Right. Well, I guess it's kind of, you're ready in the aspect of what you're coming in for, and you're ready as you can be for what you're coming in for. And the reason why I paint a line between that is if you're coming in to record, then you're ready. If you have questions about certain parts of the song, they're small ones. You know what I'm saying? You've got your big questions answered. You know your parts. Maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I end that guitar solo on the 5th, but I'm almost playing around with what if I end it on the 7th? You know what I mean? Like that might lead into the next chord progression. Awesome. And you can, you know what I'm saying? Like you hit the 5th. You don't even necessarily tell me. You're like, hey, can we run through the guitar solo again? Then you play the 7th. You hear it back. You're like, I like take 2 better. That kind of stuff, totally acceptable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you have to be completely having everything worked out, but you're ready. Yeah, you're ready.
And talking shop for a second here, maybe that's something that we should really tune in is like that initial like conversation where we just drill them into get ready.
Yeah.
Because we've done that a bit with some people, but not like if we have like a full, like this is the spiel we give them.
Right.
I mean,
and so he's intern. He's been here when I've done similar because I don't always, I have sessions that I'm setting up they're more recruiting sessions that I set up. And those, like, I don't even, those aren't, I don't charge for those. I hear a gift or I believe in somebody and I'm giving them a shot to see, are they going to be somebody who wants to get ready,
Which is a rare thing. I feel
It
like
is
a lot
a
of
rare
people
thing.
don't do that. And
Oh,
it's really
right.
cool that you do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Which
that's
is part of why I love working with you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Also,
I feel
you're beautiful.
It's important. That is true. That is so true. It's important. To raise, I think
so
it's
true.
important to raise people up in whatever you do. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not raising people up, like, jazz is a culture of musicians for the most part that understood that to some degree better than a lot of other genres. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They'd have second and third horn players that aren't even necessarily playing in the live gigs that are interning under, their main guys.
Just in case.
Just raising them up. Well, just in case, but also passing on the music and, you know what I mean, giving back and raising them
you're
up.
preparing them.
Like fathering, really.
Yeah.
I mean, mothering and fathering the next
Brothering,
generation.
sistering.
Yeah. So, anyway, super important. So, in those situations, it's like that's what we're measuring. And so, you kind of get to see both. If a band is coming in here, be ready. But again, or you can pay me hourly.
Yeah, right. As long
Take
as you're
much
paying,
time
take
as
as
you
much
want,
time as you need.
Yeah, but you probably don't want to be in here
For
for
now,
3 days
yeah.
laying one song down. That's fine with me,
For now, until studio time gets booked up, and then you're gonna be like, you gonna be ready first time?
Or I up the price.
I only make hits.
Yeah. Okay, I'll book it up. I'll hold it up for you. But it's going to be this much instead of that much. And yeah. So, be ready. I think what we're running into a lot is that a lot of people think they're ready and they're not, as you guys kind of experience, like even, with the performance at the Pin, like what does it take for you guys to get your guys' bands ready, to get yourself ready?
And Justin had 2 different bands to play with.
Right.
Yeah.
They had to both be ready for
That was
it.
a little stressful.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about that? Like, what went into that?
Yeah.
On my part, hours of practice by myself.
So break it down into like a weekly. How much time did you put into music by yourself?
Like 3 evenings a week for like 2 months at least.
And that was something that really impressed me because you would be like, I'd be like, okay, we got to hone this in. And people would be like, well, we got to go. And I'd get really stressed out because we are not ready.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, okay, well, I'm going to practice for 16 hours on this and then come back and you would be like, okay, what about this, this, and this? And I'm like, oh,
Right.
great, awesome.
Yeah.
Because he actually did what he said.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they're like, oh, I got to go, but I'll work on it. And then, you're like, yeah, right. Especially with musicians.
Oh, yeah.
They come back in
Yeah.
like, what? I said that?
Yeah, like people would be like, yeah, I'm gonna come back.
What key's the song in?
I meant I was going to do it at our next practice.
Yeah, and they'd be like, well, I have, when I come back, I'll have something for this. And I come back and be like, well, we should probably just cut it because
Right.
you're just like,
We cut a song for that reason because we weren't prepared.
yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I had something to go off of. I mean, with my band, I had 2 practices a week.
Right. So are you counting the 3 or 4 hours toward that, or you're saying 3 or 4 hours a week that just went in aside from your practices? That
Oh, you
did?
probably put more.
Oh, more than 4 hours a week. It was
Just by yourself.
It was 3 evenings a week.
And that was just
So
by
I would get
yourself.
home from work,
Yeah.
and I real immediately start doing music. So
And those,
Wednesday
real
night-
quick, those 3 nights were not consisting of those don't include your practices.
Oh, they did. So
Oh, okay.
two of those were my band,
Mm-hmm.
and then one night at least was with Daniel. So
And then you were also practicing by yourself, though.
this is true. So that was a little more sporadic, but if I was doing a practice session, I would go through each song. If I was in writing mode, I would just pick a song and then write.
Yeah.
And then if I was in practice mode, I would do the whole set twice, each time.
Right.
So, you're starting with at least an hour, each time. But yeah, just because I was like, people are paying money
Yeah.
to see some random dudes
Yeah.
play instruments, so I should probably know how to play my instrument
Yeah.
correctly.
Right.
And that's part of what made things way easier for me was I was coming in and I was like stressing out at the beginning because I was like, okay, well, we like have so far to come. But then you've got Wes who's like just does his thing and I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, great.
Yeah.
And then you've got Nathan who would just jump on bass and he's got an ear for it. And so I just
Yeah.
like could not worry about him. And then you had the most complicated parts where you actually had to memorize things and stuff like that. And then you would spend all this time on it. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Which translates into you, I don't know. Oh wait, we already talked about it. You guys have a side. You got another band going on that you're forming, right? So
Didn't
things
you?
like that, opportunities that
Pending title.
if he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to work this out," and he totally bombed,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that conversation wouldn't have continued into another opportunity.
Yeah.
Both we haven't really talked about. We're doing December the 10th, Misfit Hour
13th,
2.
right? Isn't it December 13th?
What did I say?
You just said the 10th.
You know why?
Why?
It's my anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah.
Got his wife on his mind.
I remember that more than the show.
because the show's less
We are
important than
hurt,
your
but we are
marriage.
proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me retract that because that's not a show. That's real life. December 13th is
We're
the
throwing a
Misfit
show for his
Hour.
wife.
It's Misfit Hour 2. December 13th at the Pen again. So I wasn't anticipating plugging that at this time.
Yeah.
But with that said, you guys are both going to be in it again. Breakfast with Jonah, Daniel Taylor, and I don't know if you're playing during
Yeah.
this set again or if
Yep.
you guys
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this settled. But anyway, saying like, if you guys wouldn't have put the work in and we did a show and I watched you bomb, you know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. They're not ready. They're not invited to perform at the next one. It's not like I would have been like, oh, I ain't working with them ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there'd be conversations and some, getting ready. So anyway, so this is what it takes to have open doors.
Yeah.
You want to add or yeah?
Well, yeah. I mean, and then just being in just questioning your own abilities. Like, you need to be able to sit down and play through a whole song without messing up consistently. I mean,
Right.
there's always going to be that.
Or just look good messing up.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be able to recover well. That's one thing. It's
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter. Like,
That's a trick that you learn actually after you are to the point you're talking about, though.
right.
Yeah.
So if you,
Because didn't you forget like half a song on my set?
I forgot all the songs.
He drew a blank when he was.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I was,
it's kind of funny because I picked up my guitar, plugged it in because I had two different guitars.
and he had literally just finished the set with your
Yeah.
other band.
Yeah.
You stayed on stage.
Yeah, pretty much.
You didn't
I
even
think,
get off the
I think,
stage.
Well, I think I ran off to pee because I
Really?
needed to pee before we started, and then I was just thinking about it the whole time, and then I was like, I gotta pee, so I ran down.
It really helped with the like dancing on stage though.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah,
Man, that's so awesome to hear this because I mean that's kind of a stressful moment in the
Yeah.
night, right? Like
Yeah.
you probably just chill in, listen to music, then your set happens, you gotta pee, I gotta
Yeah.
hurry up, and
yeah. So I go pee,
have to pee
run
now.
back. I did wash my hands though.
that's awesome.
I was like, I will not forsake hygiene because I'm stressed and rushing. So I ran back,
proud of you.
get my guitar plugged in, and then everybody else is, getting on stage, setting up and everything. And I'm like,
how does it go?
I don't remember any of the songs. And I was like, okay, this could be interesting.
I'm glad I didn't know any of this. I'm also really glad that I didn't see you run off and pee because if I got on stage and you weren't there, I would have
Freaked
gotten
out.
scared.
You would have not ran off.
Literally,
Still
we could
peed.
not do the show without you.
Yeah, I would have just peed my pants.
It would have just been me singing over a drummer and then just like a thumping bass in the background.
Yeah.
Would've
Well,
been
yeah,
bad.
it would have helped if the bassist had a distortion pedal, because that could give us some more flavor.
But
But
not completely.
yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Yeah.
And then later, Daniel would have peed on Justin just to like make it
Well, if I was thirsty, I would have just
And not in a nice way.
Wow.
Ah. First you're drinking freaking sweat, and now you're drinking urine.
Bear Grylls has proven that it's...
Thin guy is dead.
He was always dead.
No, it's Thin Kid is dead too.
You're gonna kill a kid?
Like, thin guy.
You're gonna
what
kill
stupid band name is that?
I genuinely thought that's what it was when I said it just in that moment. I don't know why Thin Guy's in my head, but every time I say it, I go, why did I let Justin choose this? And then you go Thin Kid, and I go,
Thin
okay,
Kid,
sure.
yeah.
Wow. Hopefully he fixes that.
Anyway, so urine.
You're a Thin Guy.
But also,
Yeah.
I remembered.
Yeah.
The intro started playing because the intro was a backtrack.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, now I remember. And it was
great.
like...
And then everything comes back.
Yeah, it all clicked.
See, and those are that stuff happens to everybody. You know, that's actually my most of the time what happens if I'm gonna mess up or I feel like it's about to happen is you're about to go into the song and you're just completely drawing a blank of what the beginning of the song is gonna do.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, you know, because then if it comes back right before, hopefully it does, everything's there. You know what I mean? You got the first two words, and then you just go in, and it's like everything's there. Yeah. If you're ready, if you've actually prepped. That stuff happens to people that have prepped. It won't all be there if you haven't done the prep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's a lot of work, and you kind of have to be willing to... I mean, the hardest part for me is going, okay, where am I actually at in terms of performing this? And then being able to translate that to hours. Like, okay, I need this many more practices consisting of this many hours. If you sit down and you kind of semi-schedule it out in your mind, you're going to be more prepared for the practices, and the practices will make you more prepared for the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that in and of itself is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing shows consistently, you're not really in a spot where you can afford to mess up. And, once you establish a rhythm, I'm sure it's a lot easier to not do as many practices.
Once it's not your first show.
Yeah, when it's not your first show with two bands.
And if if you've been practicing, it was interesting because just plug on Mallory, but when they came in here to do a recording session, they had been practicing once to twice a week for 2 years.
Yeah.
In a garage, right? And they came in here super timid. We've never done this before. I know they would, mind me sharing this, but, just nervous. And then as soon as we started the session, they were first, second take on every track we did.
That's amazing.
Because they were ready. But they, again, they'd never done it before. So they didn't even know they were ready. You know what I mean? And that's part of, I love getting to play that part in people's lives. That's a big part of who I am and what I do. Is get to be the voice to either say, no, you need to you know what I mean? You've got it, keep going. Or hey, you got something, but you need to, you need to dive in and flesh this stuff out. And so anyway, they'd been 2 years. So when they play, they're tight. They had it worked out, but didn't know. So for that is a confidence thing.
Yeah, so slightly off topic.
Yeah.
Question. All this talk of peeing.
Right.
You really want
I
to
have to pee so bad. I was literally debating. I wonder if any guesses that in this past because I didn't want to be the first guest.
He has, I think, once.
Wait,
well,
me?
look, here's the deal. It's 11:18. He has to leave at 11:30.
Oh, dang.
So,
oh shoot,
can you guys hold it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
realized
hold
it's that
it.
late.
Sweet.
Dude, I'll try. I might pee my pants, but it's worth it.
Yeah, just don't.
Have we been going for almost an hour?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
Time goes faster when you have a guest, I've noticed.
Time goes faster when you're in front of a microphone.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. It
I stop drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop drinking, dude.
So
It's not good for you.
what did it look like for you? Let's add some, I'd love to hear from you, as far as practice went, what's that process like? I know you've got special time that you set aside even in your own personal, not just practicing to get ready for something, but also, writing new material and stuff like that.
Well, so most of the songs, so what I typically have been doing is I make the beat, whatever, make the music part, record vocals over it. It's bad.
Yeah.
And then I bounce it, listen to it in my car a bunch, sing along a bunch. And then when I come back, I'm like, okay, I have this figured out.
Yeah.
And so then I can do it a lot faster,
Yeah.
make it sound better. And so because of that, I felt like I'd practice my songs pretty much, that I didn't have to practice a whole lot in the off time.
Yeah.
That I could kind of focus on other stuff. And then when we have the practices, it would go Like it wasn't like I knew I was pretty prepared.
Right, lyrically, you had the words down.
Yeah, so I could focus on kind of like directing other people because and be like, hey, like let's do this or like, which got in the way because I tried to get world stops. I kept telling everyone that they were playing it way too fast, and I was like, I slow it down. Like you guys are going twice as fast, and then we listened to the recording and I was wrong. And we had to listen to the recording multiple times over multiple practices. I was like, no, we're going too fast again, which I wasn't, or we weren't. But yeah. So I felt pretty prepared vocally, and so I could focus on other stuff and making everything else happen.
So how about like this? Let's ask a different way. Like when it comes to, so I mean, who knows how many hours that translates? But you're singing over your stuff. You're in your car. You know what I mean? Like you're practicing all the time.
Yeah.
When it comes to like writing new material, pushing forward. What does that look like for you? And I'm sure there's ebbs and flows. With like I'm really motivated. I'm going through a time where I'm not as much. But what's that look like?
Yeah, it just consists of everyday life, and I'll be like, oh, this sounds like this is a cool idea in my head, and then I just record it in my phone real quick, which is really funny because it's oftentimes in just the weirdest situations.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I've like gone to the bathroom at church to like record something real quick. Which last Sunday I did that, and like there was someone in the bathroom, and so I was like whispering it as I was walking out the door. And then I kind of and so I have like a ton of different ideas, and then when I find what I really like, I just expound upon that. And it's oftentimes like driving home from work, I'm doing it and then recording it and then making it into something. And so I have like a verse and a chorus, like maybe just the first line, just a melody line, and then I sit down on my phone, write more lyrics, and go from there. And then I can, if I have just a verse or just a chorus, then I can go through all these old ideas that I have in my phone and be like, whoa, this one fits really well with this.
Yeah. But so like on a time base, like you take time. I mean, do you have time that you set up? Like, say, for instance, you're not necessarily in a very creative, new ideas aren't coming. Do you have time that you actually go, okay, I'm going to, come back to this song and, like, work on stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I typically do. I mean, when I get excited about a song, start working on it, I just work on it. And then, I mean, I have a lot of songs that are half done, and I need to go back and do those. Yeah, so a lot of times I'll try to have time set aside to like be like, okay, well on this day off I'm gonna do nothing but new music, which I haven't been doing as much recently and trying to get back into. I've just been exhausted with work and everything, and so I lay in bed.
I understand that.
Yeah,
that makes me sad sometimes when I go through seasons like that.
Yeah, it's rough, because it's like I want to be doing this, and there's like. But then it becomes like a chore, and you don't want music to become a chore, because then it's like by the time you get to the outcome, it's like fulfilling, but you're like, the song stressed me out so much.
And see, and that's interesting, because there's a balance. Like, I'm totally in agreement. As a creative person, like, well, I was telling you guys, like, there's office administrational stuff that, we do as a studio that's, an organization. And I'm like trying to figure out where to put my office documentation, because I don't want it near my studio at all, because when I sit at my desk I don't want to be thinking about things I don't like to do. And so it's huge for me. But with that said, like, there's an element of like, I mean, it's like learning to play guitar, right? At some point there's elements to get good. You're gonna have to do some things that aren't super fun, and if you don't, you're only gonna go so far. So it's like finding that balance. I know for me, like when I'm not in a super creative season of life, that's a great time for me to revisit songs that aren't finished. I'm like, I'm not feeling a new song, I'm gonna try to write a new song. Let me go back. And sometimes you'll hear something and be like, oh yeah, and you'll get re-excited. And you might have got stuck on it at some point, and then you can offer, something back, or you couldn't before. But so I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about here too, is you gotta know how you work and what fuels you, but there's also like there's been like so many jokes about musicians for so long about like get a real job, things like that, and
it's valid.
It is valid. It is. I used to have the joke of like, oh, what, so and so's not here at the session. He's the drummer, right? Because drummers are always late. And which is funny because it's like this cliche thing, but it's true so often.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're just like, okay, well, I can just, everything's set up. You know, like
Yeah.
whether you're playing in church, whether you're playing in like a practice, everything's already set up. And so you're going to
Yeah.
show up, grab your sticks and start.
Right.
With
yeah.
a guitarist or something like that, you've got to set up all your stuff.
True that.
And then they get lazy about it. Well, the drummers get lazy about it. anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, drums are so lazy.
Screw
Yeah,
you,
no,
Wes.
there's sometimes the drummer, he's the first guy there, and he's like, "Why aren't you guys ready?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's definitely exceptions.
I have to
but-
be on time with music and reality.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So,
So many of our practices started with drummer showing up and then us having to he'd be like, "Hey, come on out, I'm smoking a cigarette."
Yeah.
And we'd just stand outside for 10 minutes talking, and then he'd finish up and we'd come back in. We're so grateful for you, Wes.
yeah.
Yeah, so grateful.
It's awesome. Yeah, you better be a savage drummer if you want people to put up with your shenanigans. That's another that's another cliche thing associated with drummers.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, it's true.
So
No diss on Wes.
yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what we're talking about here is, just because you're excited about your new song doesn't mean you're ready for a
Yeah.
recording session or a set.
That's what writing studio time is for.
Right. Which is so. Yeah, he had brought up the question about what does ready look like. Well, and so it depends. If somebody wants me to produce, then like our collaborative project that
Yeah.
we were working on, we were ready to come in here and see what happened.
Yeah.
So we had it kind of set up, but there were no lyrics. Because we're coming in here to make something.
Yeah.
And so in that kind of situation, it's tailored for you to not know the answers. That's what you're doing, coming together to find out.
Yeah, and that was a unique experience for me because I'd never done that before. I'd recorded some stuff before with other people, but not like this.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, here we're doing this thing. This isn't my thing.
Yeah.
And so I had to come in prepared, and that was
Yeah.
fun to experience.
Yeah. Which is, it's fun. It's a whole nother learning
Or
thing.
even the cipher,
Yeah.
which I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. But
That was awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
It was
Even
fun.
watch it for me, just you as an artist,
Yeah.
getting to watch that whole part because I knew you were felt outside of your element.
and I'd written it in less than 24 hours before.
Yeah, but it was just cool watching you push yourself through that whole
Yeah.
situation.
It's fun
As a
experience.
person, I'm like, dude, that's where you grow.
Yeah.
Is putting yourself
valid.
in
Yeah.
So watching the finished thing and it was awesome. But
Yeah.
so you had mentioned something about what did we want to end with?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
No.
Were we gonna plug something or? Does
Well, I
anybody
mean,
remember?
I was going to apologize for not making music video for Blind Spots like I promised last time.
Oh,
right,
nice.
Right. So the confessional now of
Yeah.
when we haven't been ready or when we have.
Yeah, that music video fell through.
Yeah.
There's new stuff in the works, but I won't promise anything just in case. 'Cause
Yeah.
I learned the hard way.
I guess we
Way
could
too
open
times.
it up. So
You know how many albums I've announced?
6?
I've announced a lot of albums throughout my life, and I've never put out an album.
Right. So here you are apologizing for this
Yeah.
video that never happened.
But that's how he knows.
Growth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because next time you announce an album and it doesn't come out, I'm gonna smack you.
Yeah.
No, it's not gonna happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because no violence.
No.
But I do
Well,
have
no,
a.
not because of that. I will smack you.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And you'll be like, "Thank you. I gotta stop doing that now."
I have a date set though.
Yeah.
With Hypertuna to record the new music video. So
See,
Yeah.
things are in motion. Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. This is
Thank you.
SoundMind.
It's been a wild ride.
Justin did not pee his pants.
I do
Not
not
yet.
either, but I am close.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
See you guys. Till next time.